Hey guys, I'll be showing my face in a second, but right now, just putting on a shirt. Um, yeah, so what I want to do I think there's only 2 people in here right now. KOK, hype, thank you for joining. Probably left because, I wasn't here at that moment. Now, chapter 1086, we will be getting into. Put the stream starting back up real quick, so I'll be right back. All right, are you guys ready? Turn on my camera. What's going on, guys? Rich here with Brotherhood Reviews, and we're going to be going over chapter 1056 of One Piece. And let's not get striked for this. I've never so if whoever's in here, this is my first, technically my first ever One Piece live stream. A couple live streams before of me and my cousins talking about Peacemaker. So yeah, we start off with the Shonen Jump weekly cover spread. Luffy, Garp, and Kobe is on the front. One Piece. All right, that's hype. I like it. All right, get through the BS. Now the cover spread is them playing in a puddle. Looks like the reflection of the rainbow is in it. Everybody got raincoats on. Nothing spectacular. There is no Zoro in this. Yeah. No rain, no rainbow. Yeah, there's no Zoro, so he's probably still asleep. All right, now, and so the curtains drew closed on the reverie before the news of King Cobra's murder came to light. That's crazy. The 5 elder planets. Let's make sure. Fire, yeah, I know. Oh, K9. What's going on? Yeah, finally finally back. I know I've been going for like a month. Let's see. This is the Princess Vivi of Alabasta. Hasn't anyone seen her? Of course they're going nuts. Where is the king? Has he has his condition worsened? Dang. Of course they're worried about him. All the while, a number of stowaways held their breath as they attempted to escape the various royal vessels. Okay. Hey, whose ship is this? The Aegis Kingdoms? The Aegis? Where's on the Aegis ship? Morgan's. Oh. Ketcha will flying our headquarters over and pretending to look for a scoop. So Morgan's is, heading over. Use that chance to hop aboard and don't get yourselves caught before then. I owe you one. Okay. You got that right. A king somehow became a subject of a manhunt. This is how big news. This is big news. So the big news is pretty much Wapol being wanted by the government. I can't wait to hear all about it. So what's exciting? What exactly did you see in there, Wapol? Like I tell you, leave me alone and go back to your own ship. I can't. CP0 is no joke. Now that they're after me, it won't matter how much everyone tries to help. Those agents won't rest till I'm back in their custody. That's a fact. Nobody in Alabasta is gonna stop CP0. If she goes back to Alabasta, like, their forces are just regular forces, so they're not gonna do nothing. Yeah, nah, they need Zoro. Where was I? Okay, now let me borrow your transponder, Snail. I need to talk to my father as soon as possible. He's a total worry. Anything but that. Get lost already. What's wrong with you? Yeah, nah, the CP0 is looking for Vivi and Kobe. I'm Kobe Sabo. This is nuts. I'm hungry. Tanjin Kingdom ship. Hatch section. If I can just make it to the Lucian Kingdom ship, I know I can figure something out. Okay. So Sabo did go to Lucia. Okay. I'm counting on you, Sabo. You must live on. Okay. He's trying his best. Now, Sabo is cooked right now. That's what happens thinking that a fire fist is gonna take out the Gorosei. That's nuts. Um, it didn't take long for a 2-day key story, for 2 key stories, to spread across the globe. The murder of King Cobra of Alabasta and the disappearance of his daughter, Princess Vivi. The Holy Land of Marie Joie, the man they call Sabo, he seems to have checkered fate. I was hoping he would be able to see to the egghead issue now, but it seems that dealing with this complication will have to take priority. How else can you account for him consistently being surrounded by those who bear the letter D? Ring ring. Well, pedal. Click. Yes, great emu. Oh God. Pangea Castle Flower Room. The time has come to put Vegapunk's inventions to the test. Use the mother flame. What? It is true. We haven't had the chance to try it out for now, so there is no way to ascertain its effectiveness yet. Depending on how well this experiment goes, Egghead may reconsider its response. I think a forest area would be a more suitable testing ground than a sea-based target, Lucia Kingdom. Oh wow. So I guess, so the mother flame is, I guess, the machine that they used to destroy the Lucia. Let me see. Are y'all talking? Quite a lot of people live there. That is of no consequence. Understood. The world moves at the will of the creator. What is the reason for Lucius selection? Oh gosh. Okay. We get the name drops. It's close proximity. It shall be as you say. I will make necessary preparations. Okay. I humbly request your patience in the meantime. 5 Elder Planet Defense Science Warrior God Saint J. Garcia Saturn. Okay. The Lucian citizens have shown sparks of rebellion recently. 5 Elder Planet Environmental Warrior God Saint Marcus Mars. Dope. We may be able to make an example out of them. 5 Elder Planet Justice Warrior God Saint Topman Valkyrie. If we could one day use this power freely, 5 Elder Planet Finance Warrior God Saint Ethan Braun V Nushudro, because would the J make the H sound, right? So it would be Nushiro, I'm guessing. 5 Elder. Oh, okay. We could instantly snuff out any protracted conflict, 5 elder planet of agriculture, warrior god, Saint Shepherd, Jew Peter. You know what I'm saying? He's of agriculture, so you know he's trying to, like, you know what I mean? There's still, we can handle this a different way. One more thing, of course, retrieve Vivi as you wish. Oh God. Oh God. If one of them have to do it, like, personally, that'll be crazy. Meanwhile, the kingdom of Tajin and the Aegis kingdom are both rebelling. Between the disbanding of the 7 warlords and the uprising in government affiliated nations, the Navy has their hands full. Deploy Cypherm Crocodile was spotted on Empty Bluffs Island. That's funny. Empty Bluffs Island. Their military power has already gone in a new direction. However, oh, I missed that. Okay. The second we docked at Lucian, the people arrested King Seki and Princess Komain. They were just waiting to abolish the royals. Since I was a stowaway, they welcomed me with open arms. That's when I saw the papers and found out that they pinned King Cobra's murder on me. Okay. Unsurprisingly, the people there considered me a hero. I wanted to tell them the truth, but when I saw how they fanned the flame of rebellion within them, the words died in my mouth. Betty and the others had already inspired a lot of them, and I ended up bringing many of those hopeful recruits back with me. That's dope. You know what I mean? He wanted to say something, but it's like it helps my cause. So why would I say something if it helps my cause? Like, it's nuts. But I couldn't make direct contact without an inscription snail. So I rerouted my call through the island while we were setting sail. I knew the government would intercept the signal, but doing it like that was sure to fool them into thinking I was still on the Lucia. However, I was just within range, having already set out to sail with our new enlistees. So the annihilation of Lucia really did happen. Drinking that call during that call. Hilarious. Yeah, everyone on board was hysterical. A lot of them had family on the island. They saw their country obliterated right in front of their eyes. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Despicable. How in the world did they do it? An enormous shadow seemed to engulf the sky above us, and the next moment everything was gone. An enormous shadow? Yeah, that's crazy. An enormous shadow. There's no way it was caused by a living thing or something naturally or some natural disaster. Something pitch black was flying above the island. Sabo, earlier you said they used the name emu, right? This may be a little out there, but when the world we know today was created 800 years ago, one of the first 20 sovereigns was Saint Emu of the house Neuron. Now look at this. Since we know an ability granting eternal youth, this said to exist, that must mean someone has used it before, right? Which means there is a person out there that doesn't need to worry about death. Okay, so you think the one I saw it could be a coincidence, but they just share the same name? But could someone else be the founder commanded the five elders planets, the highest of the world, noblest? The celestial dragons fancy themselves as the descendants of the gods after all. One more thing, assuming the object you saw above the cloud was a weapon made by the government, then the only one capable of creating such a thing would be Vegapunk. Hold it, Ava. Vegapunk would never hold it, Ava. Vegapunk would never initially design a desiccated killing machine. I know. So what if it was an ancient weapon? Assuming Emo has been living since the ancient times, there is an connection. Robin told us that the ancient weapons do in fact exist, but if this person has such a weapon, why wait till now to use it? That's a fact too. If that is truly an ancient weapon, which a lot of people are speculating, like, why wait until now to use it? It doesn't make any sense unless they did use it before. But if they annihilated an island like they just did now, who's telling the tale? There just could be people out there that can't find their island anymore, or descendants from people who was like, yeah, my dad or my great granddad was from this island, but nobody ever heard of it, something like that. Present day, the Holy Land of Marijois, a celestial dragon has just been sentenced to death. Our food supply is gone. We have no bread. However, this information will never be reported to the outside world. All we have is cake. The judge was the former king of the land known as God Valley. We currently serve as the supreme commanders of the God's Knights. His name is Saint Figureland Garling. Okay. So he is related to Shanks in some capacity. Might be his dad, might be his granddad, might be his uncle, something. Okay, and this is the end of the chapter right here. The man, he is sentenced to execution, none other than the one who chose to defend fishermen, Saint Don Quixote Moscard. Okay, anyone who protects scum is lower than the scum they protect. That's crazy. That is crazy, and this is why I love One Piece. We're about to get into like the nitty gritty of the celestial dragons and the upper echelon class of people to really see like what goes on. A man who can even judge the celestial dragons. That's dope. That's dope. Break for 5 weeks. 5 weeks. We're down a month, guys. Read further for more information. I already know most of it. He's supposed to have oh, that color spread, all 5 elders in Imu's eye. Oh gosh. All right. Is anybody still in here? Are we? Am I all alone? How many? I think I'm a little bit alone, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna give my thoughts on the chapter, anyways. Probably splice it up, re-upload it as its own video. Now, I really enjoyed this chapter. It was amazing. The name reveal of the 5 elder dragons, was amazing. Even we got introduced to them like 10 years ago, so it's great to finally know who they are, know exactly who we're talking about. The whole them looking for Vivi and Cobra and everything is like, obvious that would happen. The fact that the whole big news thing about Big News Morgans is Wapol is great. The fact that it's pretty much confirmed that they're looking for Wapol. Well, I don't think it's really confirmed because they only showed like they were looking for Sabo and Vivi. Those were really the only 2 people that they were really looking for. Now the information we get from Ivankov is supreme. Pretty much she speculates that ancient weapon is either made by Vegapunk or it's an ancient weapon, for the simple fact that Vegapunk is capable of making a weapon like this. It is a total possibility, but Dragon pretty much says that no, he would not make a weapon that would do that much devastation unless he had no choice. You got to think about it. He's been working for the government for the past 10 years, so roughly the last 10 years, so he has to he had to produce something in order to last this long with them. He couldn't have kept giving them failed experiments, and the Cypher are deadly weapons, you know what I mean, that can literally be controlled. So that's another thing. Also the confirmation of how the whole thing went down with Imu ordering the Lucian's annihilation, and how like you know what I mean, you see how like the 5 elder planets, like they don't say no to him, they just tell him like this one won't work on that type of land right now. So and he pretty much was going to use the weapon for Leloucian on Vegapunk's island, but they said nah, that's not the right type of island to use that type of weapon on. So it kind of saved them in a bit. So I think I like that about it. But the information drop, we actually get to see what so this is very interesting. So since we find out that like Sanji's family member is like pretty much the police force of the Celestial Dragons, we also find out he was the former leader, the former king of God Valley, the island rocks and Rox and Roger had their final battle on. So that is, I feel like, the most crucial information that we probably got this chapter. Now, before, because I do want to stream a little bit longer. I think I've only been actually streaming for like 30 minutes. So I think I had the other thing up for like 30 minutes. But I had it in the description that we were going to probably watch some people's reactions. But it doesn't seem like it's lagging too much. So we will probably do that. Yeah. We'll probably do a couple of those, and then we'll watch a couple probably theory videos. Got some time. What time is it? Yeah, we got some time. You know, we're going to do Tekkings.
So, Amanda tells us your family has cable internet.
I was raised on cable.
Don't you
And
ever
I
raise your kids on
am going
fiber?
to
Just say yes, Patrick.
Just say yes. Uncable yourself. Get the fastest internet upload speeds in America from Frontier.
Do you love getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered. You need to.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to get that out of my system. It was a little bit of overload there.
let's see what Tekken has to say. I know, mind blown twice.
Okay.
Twice.
All right.
Tekken, I definitely understand.
All right.
I'm put the
A lot of stuff to process this week. All right. Let's just get into it then. One Piece chapter 1086 review titled The Five Elder Stars, or The Five Elder Planets, or the Gorosei. In fact, you know what? Let's just address that right now. So, as probably most people assumed, given the naming scheme of St. J. Garcia Saturn, the five Gorosei are named after planets, or they have planet references in their name in some way. So, just the kanji that is used in their name, Sei or Hoshi, is usually read as star, but
before he gets into his whole explanation, and planets are stars and stars are planets, you know what I mean? So like, he's gonna probably break down on how you know, in Japanese, why it means the same thing. But if you ask any astrophysicist, like, a star that you're if you go take a telescope, look at the stars, you're technically going to look at planets. All right.
it could also refer to any heavenly body that emits light or reflects light that is neither the sun or the moon. Could refer to Sei or Hoshi. So planet is kind of included in that category. It's neither the sun or the moon, and it does reflect light. And so we're gonna get the names of the Gorosei in this chapter. All of them, that's right, we're getting all five. Big deal, big news. And another piece of big news is that Oda will be going on break for 4, 5, 6 weeks. I think it's really just, he's getting eye surgery done, so I think it's whenever he's fully recovered from that and he can actually draw manga again, then we'll address that at the end of the chapter. But there's going to be...
I'm telling you, he's going to go on this, he's going to get this eye surgery. During the surgery, he's going to have an epiphany on how to draw, on how he wants these characters to look completely, like in their
it's kind of a varying
their forms, and they're gonna go crazy.
What we're going to see here. The cover page is just the Straw Hats hanging out, you know, during a rainstorm.
Let's see what good points he brings up.
Playing in a puddle. It's really adorable. Okay, that's great, fantastic. Okay, it's a nice color spread, but moving on to the chapter, we got a lot of stuff to cover today, as you can already tell. All right, so we begin as the narrator narrates over the reverie, or the conclusion of the reverie, and he's like, and so the curtain of this year's reverie comes to a conclusion. So we see the full establishing shot of Castle Pangea once again to really just reiterate how big Castle Pangea is. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it towers above every other structure in Marijois. We have Igaram, Shaka, and Pell, members of the Alabasta court, running around the city trying to find Vivi, and they haven't heard anything from Cobra either. So we have Igaram. Poor Igaram, dude. I really feel bad for that guy. He was like in charge of keeping Vivi safe while they were working undercover at Baroque Works, and then, you know, everything happened at Whiskey Peak, and then Igaram apparently died in a big explosion, and then Vivi, you know, he had to trust Vivi to the hands of pirates who he just met, by the way. So it was really stressful for Igaram there, and now he's lost Vivi all over again. So he's running around the city with pictures of Vivi, just like, have you seen
Igaram, that's his name. I don't know how Tekken can remember everybody's name like that, but mostly everybody's name, but Igaram.
Princess Vivi? La, la, Princess Vivi, anybody? She has blue hair, which is usually very, not a natural hair color, but in this world it is. But still, have you seen her? You know what I mean? And we also have Chaka. Chaka's just going up to one of the pinhead guards, like the regular guards in the armor with the pinhead, and he's just running up to them and just like, where's King Cobra? Where is he? So Chaka's going more Jack Bauer with it than
Jack Bauer.
And we just have Pell in his falcon form, scouting from the air, trying to see what's going on, okay? So they're looking for Vivi. She's missing. Cobra, we don't know anything about him. And so they're obviously, they're not going to get to the bottom of this. Also, I have a question. You know, who's watching Alabasta right now? Who's the one in charge of Alabasta? We addressed this during the stream, but, you know, Igaram, Pell, and Shaka are like the highest members of the court, and they're all at Reverie. Cobra is dead, and Vivi is missing. So who's gonna be in charge of Alabasta Kingdom? There's Terracotta, who was Igaram's wife, is Igaram's wife. They're still happily married. I guess she could run it. Karu, where's Karu in all this? Karu did not leave with Vivi, I think. Karu is on, you know what, Karu? It's time to live up to your birthright, Karu. It is time for you to be the new king of Alabasta. I think he'll do fine, ladies and gentlemen. I think he has the disposition for it. I think he'll be all right. We cut to a couple months in the future, and it's just like, hey, Alabasta Kingdom, what's going on? Well, we've had a duck basically rule everything for the last couple of months, but you know what? Everything's fantastic. Economy's doing really well. Unemployment's way down. The infrastructure and transportation is doing swimmingly right now. This duck knows where it's at. You know what I mean? Honestly, the smartest move, and I don't know if they would do this, but is probably Koza, who is the leader of the rebellion at Alabasta. I mean, he's good at leading people. He knows what he's doing there and everything like that, you know? And so I don't know if they would just make him the new or like acting ruler, but that is probably the smartest move.
Yeah, he's probably that's what I was gonna say, that he's the best bet as the next ruler until Vivi gets back.
But who knows? Who knows? It might be in complete disarray right now until everybody gets home, okay? So, meanwhile, while Igaram, Chaka, and Pell are looking for Vivi, we have all the other kings and queens and royalty heading back on their ships to go home, back to their home kingdoms. And the narrator comes on and says there's a slew of stowaways on various royal vessels trying to get the hell out of Marijois, because the only way to really escape Marijois is to get on a boat and go back to, you know, one of these kingdoms that the royalty is from. So we have Vivi and Wapple, and I originally assumed, like, because last time, you know, Wapple was...
I need to figure out how to pronounce that kingdom. The Aya?
Wapple's mouth, which number one is not very sanitary, and number two is very dangerous. But Vivi, man, she had to get out of there somehow. I pictured a scenario where Wapol just keeps running in a straight line, like he just does not stop and eats anything in his way, eats through Castle Pangea, eats through every tree in the forest and every rock that gets in his way, and then they just fall off the side of the red line.
That's hilarious.
Morgan's airship in the World Economic Times, just they land on top of that balloon and they just pick them up and they just leave. So that's not quite what happens. Wapol and Vivi stow away on a ship heading toward the Aegis Kingdom. All right.
Aegis.
So you might recognize that Aegis is cipher pole Aegis 0. I think it's the same word here. Aegis is a shield or some type of object. In some contexts, it's a shield. In other things, it's like a cloak or some kind of symbol worn by Zeus and Athena in Greek lore. So because all of the different kings and queens in the countries in the One Piece world are based off of nations in our world in one way or the other, I like to think that Wapol and Vivi stowed away on the ship that is parallel to the nation of Greece in our world. So Wapol and Vivi are heading to Greece, except they're really not, because Wapol also has a Denden Mushi that he's using to communicate with Morgans. You can imagine that Morgans, he was I would imagine looking for one of the kings or queens that would be willing to leak information from the Reverie to him, and Wapol was probably number one on that list. So they have a communication network, and so Wapol is like, hey there, Morgans, yeah, we're on the Aegis Kingdom ship. And so Morgans is like, cool, perfect. I'll swing on by and pretend I'm doing a scoop, and then you guys can sneak on my airship and get away, but make sure you're not caught. And so Wapol's like, okay, sure, fine. And so meanwhile, Vivi, it's interesting. Vivi hates Wapol because we've all, you've all read Drum Island, right? Wapol pretty much stands for everything Vivi is against when it comes to how you rule a nation, how you become a king. There's also the whole flashback where Wapol pretty much just slapped Vivi when she was a child, on the
that was hilarious.
This was back when the Reverie Council, they
When Wapol slapped Vivi, it was hilarious.
Table. It was the round table came later, you know what I mean? But
I don't condone hitting women or nothing, but
what's fascinating is
it was funny.
Really genuinely hates Wapol, hates him as a person, hates him as a ruler, hates him in pretty much every capacity. But right here, she's just kind of all business because she has more important stuff to worry about than her hatred for Wapol. So, she's probably not happy that she has to spend time with him and she had to escape with Wapol, but hey, she had to get out of there somehow. So she's just like, hey, Wapol, what did you see? What did you see? Did you see my father? What's going on? And Wapol's not saying anything. Wapol's just like, oh, you think I would tell you anything? I'm not telling you shit. I hated your dad and I hated everything he stood for. I'm not saying anything, right? So I feel like eventually, Vivi will pressure Wapol, probably with bodily harm. Like Vivi takes out her peacock slashers and she's like, all right, listen here, old man. We're not playing games anymore. We're in the final saga of One Piece. I want answers. So I'm sure Wapol's will eventually, he'll sing, as it were, and he'll tell Vivi and Morgans everything. That's, by the way, the whole reason why Morgans is putting his neck out here to rescue them, because this is dangerous from Morgan's perspective too, and so Wapol's telling him, he's like, oh, I saw some stuff go down in the empty throne room, man, and Morgans is like, oh, I can't wait to hear about it. So, Wapol has to pay to get a ride on Morgans' ship. He's not nice enough to just let them stow away on his ship as fugitives, and they mentioned that there is now a worldwide manhunt, essentially,
for Wapol.
So Morgans better be getting good payment out of this in the form of an amazing story, or otherwise he's not helping anybody out. That's just how Morgans rolls, right? Okay, and you don't mess with big news, Morgans. Vivi also asks, hey, can I borrow that Denden Mushi? I need to make some calls. I need to make sure my dad's okay. I need to get in touch with him. Vivi does not even know her dad is
dead at that point. Yeah,
so
no.
She's still, like, that happens later when we see Wapol and Vivi at the World Economic Times, and Vivi's wearing that, like, journalist outfit. They mention that she found out just the day prior to that, and she was crying, and then she's kind of collected herself, when we saw her and Wapol at Morgans' place, and now they're talking about stuff. So she hasn't even learned her dad's dead yet. She just has no idea. She's just trying to get away from Cypherpole, and she mentions, hey, Cypherpole 0 is looking for me now. We managed to get away, but they're not just gonna let me leave. This is the best best intelligence gathering operatives in the entire world. They are going to be looking for me, so we got to really play this slow.
Yeah, I said that too. Like,
in fact, we now
there's nobody in Alabasta. The forces in Alabasta is regular forces. Like, they got their special ops, but they're nothing near CP0.
French melodrama, and that's where the basis of Gizmonda's design comes from. But yeah, Gizmonda's there, the flower dude, and he's going around with an image of Vivi as well. Be like, have you seen Princess Vivi? And there's one of the royal. That
was obviously before he was sent to Wano.
It's like, okay, can we just move this along? Have you seen her or not? Okay, all right, next person. You know, also Gizmonda, if you watch the Heart of Gold One Piece special, he actually gets a lot of screen time there fighting against Mad Treasure. He's kind of like Batman, so there you go. We also have
he's kind of like Batman.
Spondum, right? I mean, I'm telling you what, if I ever see a comment, every video, it's always man teching, where is Spondum at? I want to see
Spondum. What the?
Well, here he is right now. Spondum is walking around with another agent.
I didn't even mention Spondum because he's.
But we have pictures of Sabo, and so they're going around looking for Sabo. All right. I would imagine.
I don't even think I realized that was Spondum. I don't think.
Zero, like, he can't fight, and he can barely, you know, gather information. So they're like, okay, Spondum, listen, we need to find Sabo. So take this wanted poster, take this picture of Sabo, and just go out in the crowd, and just all we're asking you to do is ask if anybody has seen him. That's all we need you to do. Can you please do that without messing it up too bad? We'll expect you to mess up a few times. Tell you what, actually take 10 of these, because you're probably going to lose them. You'll probably walk out with the Sabo picture and it'll blow away in the wind. So here's 20 of them. Here's 20 pictures. You could drop some, you know, a bird can take some of them away or whatever. Just please go around and just ask to see if anybody's seen them. That's all we all need from you, okay? And Spondum's like, okay, I don't know, all right. So next we see Jewelry Bonnie in her child form, and she is stowing away on the ship of the Tajin Kingdom. Now, the Tajin Kingdom was ruled by Queen Morolona. There's a lot of R's and O's in her names, okay? And that kingdom is actually the parallel to our Morocco.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that it is that is because, first of all, Tajin, I believe, is a dish native to Morocco and northern Africa. Also, when she first appeared at the Reverie, she was the one that was carrying the wine glasses, right? And she was walking around at Reverie, and literally the first thing she says is she quotes Casablanca, which Casablanca takes place in Morocco. And so she's like, here's looking at you, world. You know, so it's obviously a reference to Morocco. So Bonnie is heading to Morocco. She's going to have a layover there for a little while before she catches her flight over to Egghead. And then we have Sabo. Sabo is in the what was it? The bilge. He's in the bilge. What is the bilge on a ship? You'd think after all the years of reading One Piece, I'd know what the bilge is. You know, but let me know. Anyway, so yeah, he's hiding in the bilge, and it's he's looking banged up, guys. I mean, Sabo is bleeding like really bad. Here's another thing. I brought this up when I did the Eam video this week. So Sabo was running away from Eam. Eam like slashed him with his like demon tail. And yeah, I understand that, like, okay, I imagine it's something beyond hockey and devil fruit abilities. You know, I like to think it's beyond that, like, because Eam might be like the creator god or like Mother Ocean, and might be the opposite of devil fruit users, that, you know, any attack against a devil fruit user is going to hurt a lot. But Sabo looks like, if that's the only injury he got, I mean, granted, he got stabbed, but Sabo is the chief of staff of the Revolutionary Army. I don't think that, you know, he's been in battles before where he's gotten some serious injuries. This cannot be the first time he's ever gotten stabbed in the gut, you know what I mean? It looks like he's losing a lot of blood. He's fading in and out of consciousness. He does not look good right now, okay? Now, he might have also gotten attacked more, because we just don't know what happened. After Cobra got up and said the letter that Lily left, and then he gets killed by Eam, I guess Sabo gets away. Maybe he got attacked again, but, you know, the idea is maybe Eam is the opposite of devil fruit users, and that's why Eam was able to injure Sabo. There's another idea, because if you go back and you look at the panel when the tail is first about to stab Cobra, like the first attack that happens, okay, you can see something dripping off of the tail, off of the devil tail. And so because everything's in silhouette, it looks looks like ink or paint, like black paint, but what if it's water? What if I'm really going along with this is Mother Ocean kind of shit right now. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
A lot of people are going with that. I'm not even mad at that.
But
like everybody's saying that some form of a ocean god, Mother Ocean, something to do with a godly ocean being, something that has to do with water. That's what everybody thinks Eames devil fruit and whatever powers is going to be based off of.
Eam literally is the ability, like the ocean manifest, transforms into the ocean. Also, like the shape-shifting ability might just be water transformation, you know? And so then here's a tail that embodies the power of the sea in this attack. Sabo got stabbed by that thing. He was like, ah! You know, it was like the most pain he's ever felt. He looked pretty banged up from that, so that might be the reason right there. Sabo's there, clinging to consciousness. He's holding his gut wound. He doesn't have anything to bandage it up with. He's literally just lying passed out in the bilge of this ship. Like, he doesn't even have any like gauze or anything to like patch himself up with. So he's just there like holding his open wound, and he's like, oh god, I gotta make it to Lelucia. So he's heading to Lelucia, obviously. Lelucia, I don't think has a direct correlation to a place on our world, although it is ruled by a vampire named King Seki. So Transylvania, Romania, I guess. All right, so Wapple and Vivi are going to Greece, Bonnie's going to Morocco, and Sabo's going to Romania. All right, is everybody on board with that? Okay, great. If anybody watching this lives in any of those countries, please, you know, prepare for their arrival. They've been through a lot. Okay, they've all been through a lot. All right. So the narrator comes on again and says, you know, it did not take long for these two key stories to spread across the world: the murder of Cobra by Sabo, that dastardly Revolutionary Army member, and of course the disappearance of his daughter Nefeltari Vivi. Okay, so these are the two stories that spread really quickly. Okay. So now we're cutting to the Room of Authority in Castle Pangaea. This is a little bit after the reverie has concluded, where we see the 5 Gorosei, all right? And they're sitting around, and they're mentioning that, man, we were really going to deal with this whole egghead situation right after reverie. So that was like the original schedule. Their original docket was like immediately after reverie, deal with Vegapunk. Like they wrote that down on their
deal with
Vegapunk.
Okay,
we gotta deal with this Vegapunk situation because he might be, you know, be a traitor or whatever, and then the whole call that York made, you know, all that stuff. So they're like, all right, we're gonna deal with that after reverie. But now that this whole thing has happened, Sabo busted in and Cobra, you know, got killed, and now Sabo escaped with all this information. So now they gotta deal with that. Right now, okay? So they're discussing that. They also bring up that like, this Sabo, it's rather interesting that this Sabo keeps running across people with the letter D in their names. You know, Sabo, you know, brother of Ace and Luffy, and then just every dragon, you know, Monkey D.
Dragon.
So
yep.
They're noting that similarity. Sabo is going to have a point to play in this story, and I think it also ties back to what Ace called him last chapter in the flashback, where it's like, hey, do you want the initial D in your name, Sabo? All right, well, you'll be Sad Bo or Sad Boy, almost like a parallel to Joy Boy. So I'm thinking, you know, Luffy and Sabo, they're gonna have a lot of people's been saying that too. Sabo especially. Okay.
A lot of people's been a Sad Bo, Sad Boy thing. Like a lot of people's been saying that too. So parallels, I like it. Always a good review.
Just like break into Marijois, see what's going on, relay it back to Dragon, and then Dragon takes it from there. No, Sabo's going to have a role to play in this, okay? So while they're discussing that, they get a call from Eam. Eam is still chilling out over in the garden room, in the room of flowers, and is a lot more vocal now. Eam is just like, you know, calling them up on the Den Den Mushi, and it's just like, the time has come to put Vegapunk's new invention to the test, the Mother Flame. All right, that's a pretty cool name for the item, for the device. The device. This is the object, the unidentified flying object that was above Lelucia that nuked the entire kingdom. A lot of people thought it was an ancient weapon. There was a theory out there that perhaps it was not an ancient weapon, but maybe it was an artificial ancient weapon. That seems to be the idea here. Maybe Vegapunk took schematics or a design or a concept from Uranos, which is the sky weapon. We don't know what it looks like yet, but Uranos, god of the sky, sky weapon, nuke, laser beams, you know, that's how it goes, and then created this thing, the Mother Flame. you know what? Later on in the chapter, Dragon even brings it up. He's like, you know, Vegapunk. No, it was Ivankov. Ivankov's like, Dragon, Vegapunk would never invent something that could destroy entire countries.
Yeah.
And Dragon's like, I know. And I'm like, listen, we've only known Vegapunk, like the fan base has only known Vegapunk for like a dozen chapters or so, and I think even we can kind of come to the conclusion, like, yeah, that kind of tracks a little bit, you know. But anyway, yeah, so Eam is now, you know, setting up for the destruction of Lelucia, and so it's like, yes, we will test out the Mother Flame, the world-destroying laser battleship or whatever, and so the Gorosei are just kind of like, huh, all right, well, yeah, I guess we could do that too. I mean, we have the whole thing with Vegapunk to deal with and the Sabo thing to deal with, but yeah, I guess we could test the world-destroying super laser. If that's what Eam wants, that's what Eam gets, you know what I mean? And so they're like, all right, well, where are we going to test this thing? I mean, we've never really done this before. It's like, okay, and one of the Gorosei, Samurai Gandhi, he throws out the idea, is like, hey, maybe we should probably test this in a remote area, like, you know how we would test like nukes or H-bombs in our world, you know, you don't drop them on, you know, popular, well, okay, yeah, World War II, but like the idea is when you're testing, you use it in like a desert or in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of like northern Russia in a desolate island like the Tsar Bomba, you know, and so, you know, he's being pragmatic about this, you know, he's just like, oh, well, we'll find a isolated area, you know, like the equivalent of like northern Canada in the One Piece world, and we'll drop the nuke up there. And so Eam is like, no, it's going to be Lelucia. And they're like, you know, honestly, they do object to it as much as they do. They're just kind of like, we have Gorbachev, the dude with the mustache. He's like, Lelucia, huh? Well, you know, a lot of people live there. That is of no concern. Okay, well, just wanted to make sure you knew that. And so you have Gonfall there, and he's like, understood. The world moves at the beat of its creator. So right here, we have Gonfall, literally calling Eam the creator of the world. Now, whether that just be because Eam is their boss and they're really sucking up to him, or it's like, no, Eam is literally the mother of Earth, the mother of the ocean, the creator of life, yada, yada, yada. So that's literally the title they're giving them. That could be a thing. And then we also have Sanji's uncle, who's like, what is the reason for Lelucia's selection? So this is a thing where the Gorosei, I would imagine at this point the idea that maybe the Gorosei are fragments of Eam's self is maybe not really on the table, because they're kind of objecting to this. They're kind of like, okay, Eam, listen, we'll do whatever you say. Literally, your wish is our command, but there's just a couple of things that we want to bring to your attention. You want to test the world-destroying super laser on an extremely populated island. Just making sure you know that. Why exactly are you picking that one, by the way? And so that if it's like, if the Gorosei were fragments of Eam, there would just like puppets and mindless, then there'd be no objection at all. There would be like, we will destroy Lelucia. Okay. And then that would be it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe their powers, their individual abilities might come from Eam. Like I will give you the godly form of a Quetzalcoatl or whatever like that. But in the case with this, they do have their own agency and they can't object to certain decisions that Eam is making. Not really objecting, they didn't say like we can't do that. They just said like, there's a lot of people that live there. Are you sure you want to do that? Yes. Why? Because it's close. Okay, yep, that's a reason. We'll do it. We'll get right to it. All right, that's just how we'll prepare for all the fallout from this. Both
absolute power. That's the definition of absolute power right there.
Figuratively and very literally. Okay, and so this is interesting because you want to wonder, you know, Sabo was heading to Lelucia and then they nuke Lelucia, and it's like, well, did Eam know that Sabo was there? And it seemed like from what the Gorosei said back then that they did not. The idea was like, oh, we're going to eliminate Lelucia. Oh, but Sabo was at Lelucia. Oh, Well, that just kills two birds with one stone right there. Like, they didn't know he was heading there, okay? They just picked it because it's close. So that also kind of gives you another border for Eam's abilities. Eam does not have some, like, even if Eam is like Mother Ocean, Eam does not have omniscience and omnipotence to the point where, like, I know where everybody is at all times, you know, like actual godly abilities like that. Eam did not know where Sabo went. Eam did not know Sabo was at Lelucia. It was just a coincidence. It really seems that way. There's no reason for Eam to lie to the Gorosei. Eam would not be like, you know, what's the reason why you're targeting Lelucia, Eam-sama? Because Sabo is there. Oh wait, no, I can't tell the Gorosei that. Because it's close proximity. There'd be no reason. You would just say, because that is where the infiltrator is heading. Like, that is where Sabo's going. Very well, Eam, fire away. No, it doesn't seem to be the situation there. So, now we get the names and titles of all 5 of the Gorosei. So they are all given the title of Warrior God. God, mind you. Now, once again, this could just be for dramatic effect. We've all watched anime before. We all know there's groups like the 9 demon gods or whatever like that. You know what I mean? So it might not be literal, but considering, you know, Endgame One Piece and this series has been going on for a quarter of a century, and Eam is maybe the ocean deity, so perhaps their abilities are well and far beyond just regular ass mythical zones. Maybe it's a whole other category. We had regular zones. We had carnivorous zones. I guess we had vegetarian zones or herbivore zones. We also have ancient zones. We have mythical zones like dragons and wolf deities and sun gods and everything. But what if it's even beyond that? What if like Luffy's fruit is a mythical zone, but there's a special subcategory of the subcategory? It's god zones. The ability of literally having a deity. So it's like regular mythical zones are like Kaido, you know, it's, you know, or like Marco's Phoenix, like Phoenix, dragons, those are mythical animals. But then gods are like the next level of that. I don't think a lot of people would compare to like, you know, that's a griffin. That's the same thing as like the god of fire or the god of war, you know? It's like they're both cool. Like a phoenix is cool, but there's a phoenix and then there's the god of war, you know? So yeah, it might be the thing like that where they each have the ability of like a godly mythical zone and they could go to the next level, or it's a power that's not related to devil fruits at all and it's directly given to them by Eam, okay? So first and foremost, we have Saint J. Garcia Saturn, who...
I want to know why everybody thinks that Eam is giving people powers. Like, where are they getting that from? Like, I think it was Threeville. He's the only one who made a good argument about that, saying that he may be like the essence of devil fruits or something like that, or I believe it was him who said it. Like he created devil fruits or whatever, and that's how like he can do that. But everybody's just saying that Emu was able to give away powers or whatever, but I don't understand how. But
was of course named after the planet Saturn, and he is the defense science war god. So they all have titles that are like kind of elaborate. Some of them are actually kind of funny. So I will read through the rest now and probably put some really cool foreboding music in the background, and then we'll break them down individually. All right, here we go. The 5 elder planets. Environmental war god, Saint Marcus Mars. Justice warrior god, Top Man Valkyrie. Finance war god, Ethan Baron V. Noose Choro. Agriculture war god, Shepherd Jew Peter. Woo! Okay, so obviously Saint J. Garcia Saturn is Saturn. My favorite is Gonfall, who is officially now known as Saint Marcus Mars. You got the alliteration in there, you got Mars in the name, Marcus Mars. Love it. He is my favorite by far. I hope he lives. I hope he survives. I always kind of liked Gonfall, you know what I mean? Gonfall's brother, Gondoff, whatever, okay? So he is the environmental war god, all right? So I mean, their titles kind of are self-explanatory, you know? The defensive science dude handles the science development in the world. Probably is also responsible for limiting science development rather than expanding it, you know? Like, there's a reason the One Piece world doesn't have flying machines. Like, I imagine at some point in the world, beyond Vegapunk and Egghead, there has to be some people that are like, I developed a flying machine! Hey, Meredith, come on out here! I developed some kind of helicopter-type device. Yeah, that's when Cypherpole shows up, and they're like, oh, that's great. And they just start destroying the thing and, like, murder the family. It's like, oh, no, my helicopter!
Yeah.
You know, so I think his
Sounds a little
job is
familiar.
more or less, you know, containing technology. Vegapunk is okay, because he's on the government payroll, so, like, he's the only one that develops technology, and even then, they're putting the crackdown on him right now, you know? So then we have Marcus Mars, who is the environmental war god. I don't know, man. I guess he handles pollution in the world, you know, the air quality level and stuff like that. Then we have probably my second favorite, Top Man Valkyrie. This is Gorbachev. This is the dude with the giant mustache. And he is the justice warrior god. So he oversees probably everything going on in like Eni's lobby and all the judiciary systems. He's probably the ultimate authority on the God's Knights. We're actually going to be introduced to a member of the God's Knights later, the one that actually passes decisions, like the Chief Justice of the God's Knights, as it were, comparing it to like the United States Supreme Court system. But he's the justice warrior god. I'm assuming he's the final authority for all this. Well, I guess Eam is the final authority for everything, but you know what I mean. So he's Top Man Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie, the idea is, and there's a lot of comparisons here.
Let's skip.
So now we cut back to Marine HQ very briefly, where we have Akainu there, and they're just like, the kingdom of Tajin and the Aegis kingdom are both rebelling. So those are the kingdoms Bonnie ended up going to, and of course Wapol and Vivi ended up going to anyway. And we already know the Lelucia kingdom is rebelling. So really, I don't think this is coincidence. I think Bonnie and Sabo.
Oh, he's talking about the rebellions.
Vivi, that might have just been. So now we finally cut back to the Kamabaka Kingdom, because this entire flashback was a framing device for Sabo explaining what he saw at Reverie. So Dragon and Ivankov have been listening to this entire story. They heard all of it, like Eam, the Gorosei's monster forms, Death of Cobra, everything, okay? Sabo mentions as soon as we arrived at Lelucia, the people rebelled, and they, you know, because they were riled up by Bello Betty and everybody. Yep. They captured Seki and his daughter Komain, and they threw them in jail. They threw them in the prison, and then the island was nuked, so they're most likely dead right now. But then they found Sabo hiding in the bilge, and it's just like, oh, you're Sabo, you're the Flame Emperor, you killed Cobra. And Sabo was going to explain to them, I didn't kill Cobra, it was a misunderstanding, but they were all.
I want to see what his opinion on this is.
A member of the government, so they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm the Flame Emperor. Do you have some blood? I really need blood. It's like, well, it's a great thing you're in Transylvania. The king stockpiled a bunch of it. Type A, Type B. What do you need? Just like, yeah. So so Sabo, that's how he, you know, came to be at Lelucia. They patched him up. They healed him, and then the whole situation happened with the country being wiped out. All right. Now, the way that Sabo did this was that he did not call the revolutionary, because he wanted to contact them, obviously. It was also on Lelucia when he read the newspaper, and he's like, Sabo kills Cobra? That didn't happen. That's fake news. You know what I mean? And so Sabo wanted to contact them, but he did not have access to a white Denden Mushi, which is the encryption Denden Mushi. So he had to kind of think outside the box on this. So after he healed up, and after he was ready to head back to Kamabaka with all of the revolutionary recruits like Moda and everybody, they get on a boat, they sail away. But before they were out of range of Lelucia, Sabo basically did like a he did like a rerouted call. So basically what he did is he took a Denden Mushi, he used that Denden Mushi to call a Denden Mushi on the mainland of Lelucia, and then they kind of just took two Denden Mushis and put them together. So this is the one that was called, that Sabo is speaking through, and this is the one that Dragon is receiving. And instead of like them doing it directly, they just kind of put two Denden Mushis together to reroute the call. It's the same tactic that Rick Sanchez would use years later as a pickle to take out an entire embassy. That was the yes. So there you go. But no, that's what he did. That was a smart move. And so because of that, the government intercepted the call. Although the interception division intercepted no calls that day, we're all aware of that. But that's, you know, they received the call. Like, oh,
they ain't getting no calls.
Lucia. area, and that's where they thought it was coming from. And it's like, oh, well, this is convenient. We were gonna blow it up anyway. And then like just blasted the island. Sabo was not on the island. He was outside the island on a ship, and they got to witness it completely obliterated in front of them. So Sabo relays the information that there was a dark
they know it's gone.
This was not natural.
They know it's
this
gone.
was not any kind of weather phenomenon that I'd ever seen before. Keep in mind it's the Grand Line, so you know that's also up in the air. You can't rule it out. Like there were those giant things that Thriller barks, so you know. But from what Sabo understood, it's like this thing was man-made. All right, so they're talking about that. And so they bring up at this point that, like, wait a second, enormous shadow, like in a moment everything was gone and a flashing light. There's no way that thing was caused by a natural event. And so that's when they think, oh, it must have been some kind of device. It might be... You know, it might be something invented by Vegapunk, and to which then Dragon says, oh, that he would never do that, which, I don't know. Maybe they're like, yes, Vegapunk, we, the Gorosei, command you to build a giant laser cannon. Oh, Quasar, that doesn't sound like it would be for peace. Would it be for peace? Are there any peace applications to the giant laser cannon? Oh, yes, yes. We will use it for peace and nothing else. Well, okay, Quasar, I'll get right on it. Giant peace laser, okay. You know, so, Vegapunk is very, I wouldn't say gullible. He's very naive. We've learned that about him. So, the idea that Ivankov was like, there's only one person on the planet that can make something like that. Yeah. He wouldn't, though, would he? Like, well... Yeah. There's also 6 satellites too. Lilith would probably make something like that. York might have had a hand in it. Who knows? Let's not put all the blame on Vegapunk's main body here, okay? So also something that we get brought up is a little bit more information about Eam themselves. So yes, it turns out that Eam actually was one of the 20 families, or Eam's family. The name Eam comes from Saint Eam of House Nerona. Okay, so Nerona, it's a completely different house name. We've never heard it before, at least I don't think we have. There might be a deep dive into One Piece. Somebody might be like, oh, the house name Nerona was mentioned all the way back in Skypiea. It's like, maybe, but I don't remember it off the cuff, so if anybody else has any connections to that, let me know. But, you know, Saint Eam of House Nerona. So Eam was one of the original 20 that founded the world government. Ivankov kind of starts doing theories here. You know, it's fun when the One Piece characters in the story start theorizing, like Ivankov's like, I need to go start a new YouTube channel to start talking about my One Piece theories. Go and subscribe to Ivankov's YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of really fun stuff on there. You know, so anyway, Ivankov is like, hey, we already know about a devil fruit that grants eternal youth, and that's, of course, the Op-Op fruit. And Ivankov throws down, like, the devil fruit encyclopedia. Like, we know the Op-Op fruit can provide eternal youth. So maybe it was somebody that had that power, passed it down. So it's almost like that's, like, the first thing they come to. I love that, because that's been a theory for a while. If Eam is around for 800 years, might be because of the eternal youth operation. That was a theory pretty much everybody immediately jumped on. So whether or not the fact that Oda's bringing it up so obviously here is like, is he setting it up to be a red herring? Like like the most obvious thing is that it's a human that ate a devil fruit that became eternally youthful or immortal, or could there be something else going on behind the scenes here? Who knows, right? Let's see. I mean, it could be possible, like Saint Eam could have been a regular person back in the day, but then it could have been possessed by the ocean god or something, and that's why they're living 800 years. You know, it doesn't have to be the Op-Op fruit, but that is an option that's on the table. Let's see here. I
like that, but it's definitely the Op-Op fruit.
It could just be a coincidence. Maybe this person is just using the name, or maybe it's a descendant of the original Saint Eam, or they're just messing with everybody and just taking the title for themselves. So that's also on the table. You got to remember Occam's razor, like the simplest solution's usually the easiest one. Then again, this is a world with magic powers and devil fruits and sun gods, so you can't really just... Occam's razor kind of takes on a whole new meaning in the One Piece universe. Can't really rely on that too much. But there is an option. It might not be some immortal god or being. It might just be someone that was a descendant of the original House Nerona family and then just like uses the name just to be cool or whatever, edgy or something, right? That's also a possibility there. All right, so so yeah, then they bring up the ancient weapons, and then they say, okay, well, if Vegapunk didn't build this thing, then maybe it's just an actual ancient weapon. And Dragon brings up the rebuttal to that of like, well, we learned from Robin the ancient weapons do exist. That's important to bring up. The Revolution did not know the ancient weapons were a real thing. It was just myth. It was just history, and just like, oh, like I'm reading about this. Oh, the ancient weapon Pluton, is that a real thing? Like they weren't sure until Robin lived with them on Baltigo for 2 years.
It was like, yo,
and relay the information. Oh no, they're real. They're out there. I mean, the poneglyphs talk about them all the time. They are most likely real objects. And so that's when Dragon learned about it. But it's like, hey, if the ancient weapons are real and the government had them, why not use them? Why use them now? Why not use them earlier than this? And earlier in the chapter, I forgot to bring this up when I was reading off all the Gorosei names. I think it was Sanji's uncle that brought it up. He's like, if only we could instantly, oh no, it was Samurai Gandhi. If we could use that power freely. So the implication was this mother flame device that Vegapunk invented for the Gorosei, it has like a really high cooldown period, or has to recharge, cannot be used repeatedly. And the way they talk about it, it might not even be able to be used, like it might take a year or several years to power back up again or something like that. They mentioned they cannot use it all the time. So I feel like if it was a real ancient weapon, then it could be used all the time. But this is an artificial construct, so it's like, and Vegapunk, that was one of the reasons they brought up at Egghead. Like, we don't understand how this Iron Giant ran. We don't understand the power source it used. Like, we just can't wrap our heads around it, and so that way they just don't understand it. So the same thing with the Mother Flame. Vegapunk's like, I invented this giant peace laser, but you can only fire it once every 10 years. That's how long it takes for the battery to recharge. Sorry, I just don't understand the power system yet, you know? Could be something like that. So now we cut to the last scene of the chapter, where we cut back to Marijois, where we see a new character introduced. They are the Supreme Commander of the God's Knights, so basically like the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, okay? And we have his name, Garland Figarland, okay? And the Figarland family is, of course, related to Shanks. We learned that from film Red. So this person could be Shanks' dad, for all we know, okay? And so he's really badass. He's wearing this really long coat, black coat with the world government buttons on it, and he has this really cool saber, which is...
You know what I'm thinking? Maybe Shanks' backstory parallels Sanji's backstory. Hear me out. He could have been the black sheep of the family. That's why he was in the trunk. That's why he was found in the trunk. He could have been casted out. That's why they don't look for him or care about him. You know, it could have been like another situation like that.
It's kind of indicative of Shanks's kind of design. It's like a similar kind of saber design with like the guard and like the hand guard and everything like that. His hair is shaped like a crescent moon. So he's an older man. So he has like his gray hair kind of doing this up here, and then he has a beard that kind of curves upwards. So, and then along the side, it kind of goes kind of like Hiraluk's hair a little bit, honestly. Imagine Hiraluk if he's styled with a lot of gel. Hiraluk had a lot of beard gel and like, molding cream or whatever. And he kind of like, moved this down here, like he grew a beard and stuff, kind of like that a little bit, right? And he has glasses, and yeah, he was the original king of God Valley. We don't know what happened with God Valley, but this dude used to rule over it, and now he has the title as the supreme ruler of the God's Knights. So this guy was a big head honcho. He's a big deal, okay? The Figarland family, also one of the 20 founding families. So now we know, what was it, Nerona? Yeah, Nerona. Ooh. I wonder if that's, that might be Verona's last name. Verona Nerona from One Piece D&D. Verona was royalty this entire time. It was Verona Nerona. I knew it. All right, anyway. The statement that this person, the narrator kind of comes on and says that the Supreme Commander, Garling Figarland, has now sentenced a member of the Tenryubito to death, which is a big deal. And the person that is sentenced to death is none other... It's not Charlos, unfortunately. It's Mulesguard, of course. Don Quixote Mulesguard. We see him kind of like crucified a a little bit. We see him like on the cross of the world government sigil, like the cross with the circles in it, and he's on the cross like this.
Yeah.
He's bloodied and broken. I don't know if he's dead yet, but he looks pretty dead. I mean, he's bleeding, so it's like you've been sentenced to death.
Yeah, he's almost out of there, if he's not already out of there.
And the scum they protect. That is what Garling Figarland, the Supreme Commander of the God's Knights, states. All the other Tenryubito are cheering him on, like, yeah, execute him, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. So I don't know if Mulesguard is dead yet, but he looks pretty damn dead. And now we're going on a multiple week break, and so because of that, it's debatable. It's like 4-week break, 5-week break. I'm imagining it's however long it takes Oda to recover from his eye surgery, which, by the way, is remarkable that he was able to draw as well as he could with his, like he mentions, like, oh, my eyes are blurry, I need to get this surgery done. So it's whenever he's back up and rolling, he can actually see and draw again after he's recovered. It'll be fine. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter. I'm guessing Mulesguard is just dead. We kind of knew this was going to happen. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't, because I was thinking, like, okay, punishment for the Tenryubito. I was thinking the worst punishment they could give is not death, but forcing them to live in the lower realm. And to be fair, every other Tenryubito, that would be a fate worse than death. However, with the case of Mulesguard, he liked living with the common people. He kind of wanted to.
Yeah,
well, I guess he didn't, because he was trying to change the Tenryubito system. But sending him to live in the lower realm wouldn't be really much of a punishment, so they just decided to kill him. So yeah, the God's Knights don't mess around. They're not like, oh yes, we are now here to punish Mulesguard. Yes, he attacked Charlos and ordered pirates to attack him, and okay, we're just gonna give him a light slap on the wrist. We're also going to downgrade his mansion from 10 stories tall to 7 stories tall. You know, it's not gonna be anything like that. It's straight up, this guy is like, no, you went against every...
Yeah, Tekken, always great content. Definitely check him out. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what Mr. Agenda himself got to say about this. Agenda Piece.
Cobra Nefertari asked the fatal question: what is the... Emu revealed himself to Cobra and gave a dialogue that we will never forget. Those vexing poneglyphs. The D are the natural enemy of the celestial dragons and the 5 Gorosei. Then boom, out of nowhere, Sabo appears. Our hero is here to save Cobra. But what is this?
I like this, like, low-key Power Rangers startups he's been doing.
New agendas form. Cobra is killed, but before he dies, he has one message to Sabo: live on and tell my daughter Vivi she is a D. Waffle escapes. Waffle sees what's going on. What is happening in One Piece? Find out on the next rendition of
Agenda
Piece.
I love this too. Can it be your faith in? After this, I'm gonna get off, get something to eat, and get some sleep for work tonight.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy.
What is up? Okay.
I tried 3 different e-commerce platforms and none of them were working for me.
It's the Godfather. It's the Saint himself. It's the future
Hall of Famer.
JD Legend back again, bringing you guys and gals a live reaction to One Piece chapter 1086. And ladies and gentlemen, on the last rendition,
let's get it, yeah,
of Agenda Piece of One Piece, we had a banger. We had a banger. My grandpappy top 10 confirmed. Gorosei combatants confirmed.
Yeah.
Combatant allegedly confirmed. Sabo MC confirmed. Nefertaris are D's confirmed.
Yes.
Lily Nefertari was a D
Confirmed.
Lily Nefertari was killed by the Gorosei
Confirmed.
Vivi is an enemy of Emu and the Gorosei confirmed. Wapple knows who Emu is confirmed. Lots of confirmations last chapter. Rest in peace to Cobra. Pour one out. F in the chat for Cobra, first and foremost.
That's right.
So brothers.
We're brothers. We're brothers.
We're brothers.
We're brothers. I'm turning off the alerts.
We're brothers.
Chat for best pappy of all time, Cobra. One of the best pappies we had. But also, W in the chat for Sabo surviving and getting out. He escaped. If the girls say a top 10, we got a new agenda. W for Sabo because he escaped.
Yeah.
5 top 10 combatants and serious villain. So W in the chat because Sabo going up now.
Yup.
Yes, a new agenda was formed on the fly.
Stocks.
Out here. Yes, sir. They had to jump him, and he still escaped.
Yup. Stocks going up.
Built like him.
Sabo stocks going up.
Been birthed. This is what we do on this channel. We birth agendas on the fly. Sabo stronger than Mihawk. Here we go. I didn't even know that one out there, but you know what? We're at.
Yo, he's crazy for that one.
Next chapter, because I heard this one is better than the last one. I couldn't believe it. I've been spoiled. I haven't even been on my main account all week. So like, there's no one spoiled me. I couldn't have been spoiled. There's no way I could have been. So it's here. It's here now. So let's not waste time. And just in case you're wondering, oh, Jay, where's the suit? I got the uniform, I got my chain hanging, I got a haircut, and I got the suit jacket here in case we need it. So if it's possible, we might have a holy fusion, a trinity fusion of the chain, the uniform,
and the jacket.
and the suit all together to create the ultimate rat. I'd be the ultimate rat. That's it. That's what my transformation is. When I put this on, it's the ultimate rat where we unify together. Rat God, there it is. We turn into Rat God.
Rat God.
The final rats. That would be me. Anyway, let's continue. We'll keep it going. Okay, so no rainbow, nice little cover story. Here we go. And so the curtains drew closed on the reverie before the news of King Cobra's murder came to light. Chapter 1086, the 5 Elder Planets. We're getting some expose on my grandpappy and my uncles. It's time. It's time. This is Princess Vivi of Arabasta. Hasn't anyone seen her? And Igaram is screaming. Where is the king? Has his condition worsened? Pell, who's running around the Will of P. All the while, a number of stowaways held their breath as they attempted to escape on various royal vessels. Hey, whose ship is this? This is this Aegis Kingdoms. Okay, this is Aegis Kingdoms. We're on Aegis ships, Morgans. Okay. Yeah, we're on Aegis's ship, Morgans. Gotcha. We'll fly our headquarters over and pretend to look for a scoop. Use that chance to hop aboard and don't get yourselves caught then. I owe you one. You got that right. A king somehow became the subject of a manhunt. This is big news. I can't wait to hear all about it. This is great. All right, hold on. So what exactly did you see, Wapo? Like I tell you, leave me alone and go back to your own ship. I can't. CP0 is no joke. Now that they're after me, it won't matter how much everyone tries to help. Those agents won't rest till I'm back in their custody. Now let me borrow your transponder, Snail. I need to speak to my father as soon as possible. He's a total worrywart. Anything but that. Get lost already. What's wrong with you? All right, so we already have CP0, Spandam, and all those lads looking for him. It's already out here.
On the search.
Pull up panels. Y'all must want my channel to get nude. Do that. And if other niggas do it, then I'll be the last one to do it. So I know I'm sure. I'm gonna keep reading. All right, y'all smart enough. Y'all got the link. Pull it up and read it with me. You ain't jeopardizing my channel for clouds. I'm good.
Yeah, for clouds.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep moving. Try to get my channel Lulu seeing. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Jay, you can pull up panels. All of a sudden, Shueisha's like, oh, look at that. Who's that? You know how the Japanese feel about us reading scans in general. I'm already on thin ice.
For real. But the same way.
Cheese y'all rats are eating, but y'all need to
Yeah, I would say the cheese y'all rats are eating.
I don't trust Shueisha. I don't trust Toei because all it takes is one day to say, you know what? I don't like none of these niggas. Who you think they gonna look for first? They ain't looking at O'Hara. They ain't looking at Grand Line. That's what they looking at. You got a YouTube manager to protect myself. How dare you? Jeopardize my channel and the rats for your own enjoyment. How dare you? I can't believe this. Sorry, I lost my mind. Back to the chapter. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm hungry. Taijin Kingdom ship hatch sex. Okay, so Bonnie's on a ship, stowed away. If I can just make it to Lulusia Kingdom ship build section, I know I can figure something out. Look at Sabo. Huff, I'm counting on you, Sabo-kun. You must live on. Oh man, Sabo got bloodied. Yeah. Man. He definitely should take some damage. He should definitely take some damage from that, bro. With that many strong combatants in one area, there's no way he should have made it out unscathed. That's his foolishness. But we give him the W for surviving. Bilge Rat Sabo. There it is.
Bilge Rat Sabo.
Sabo is a bilge rat. He's one of us. Sabo gets W's for surviving. This is the only time where we give W's for surviving in this moment. We do. To be real with you, I give Jinbei a W for getting punched in the back by a magma fist to protect Luffy. That's a W.
That is a W. 100%.
This is what it is.
Let's be honest. The rent-a-car industry is the definition of foreign, and the reason can be...
This is how it works. All right, we'll talk about law later. Okay, it didn't take long for the two key stories to spread across the globe. The murder of King Cobra of Arabasta and the disappearance of his daughter, Princess Vivi, the holy land of Mary Joa. The man they call Sabo. He seems to have a checkered fate. How else can you account for him constantly being surrounded by those who bear the letter D? Ring, ring, clank. Yes, great emu. Wait, okay, hold on. I was hoping we would be able to see the egghead issue now. But it seems that dealing with this complication will have to take priority. Pangea Castle, Flower Room. The time has come to put Vegapunk's invention to test. Use the Mother Flame. So emu is not, so now we're just getting straight up emu dialogue. The Mother Flame, okay. We're getting emu dialogue, emu commands. Use the Mother Flame. The Vegapunk did this. It is true, we haven't had the chance to try it out before, so there is no way to ascertain its effectiveness. Depending on how well this experiment goes, Egghead may reconsider its response. I think a forest area would be a suitable testing ground than a sea-based target. Lulusia Kingdom, or Lulusia Kingdom. I say Lulusia because that's how we say it on this channel. Quite a lot of people live there. That is of no consequence. Understood. The world moves at the will of the creator. The creator?
Creator.
Emo said, people.
Who cares?
What? I don't care about people.
People? Yeah. I don't care about I don't care about people.
No conscience.
None.
Mamba mentality.
Let's get it.
Understood. The world moves at the will of the creator. What is the reason for Lulusia's selection? It's close
proximity.
It shall be as you say. That's it. He said it's next door, so kill him. Like the ants. He saw this is what Emu saw. Emu is sitting in his house drinking some lemonade. He looks outside and sees an anthill there and says, you know what? I got this new pesticide.
I got this new pesticide. That's crazy.
Bottle in that anthill. He didn't even need the entire bottle. He dumped the entire bottle. Said, I hope it kills all them niggas. Toxic. He's toxic.
Yo.
He's toxic. I will make the preparations. I humbly request your patience in the meantime. 5 elder planets, defense, science, warrior god, Saint J. My man is a warrior god.
Yeah. Goated reaction. Goated reaction for the warrior god.
That's it. That's it. Probably top 1. Oh, they're all warrior gods. It don't matter. It don't matter.
Yeah, boy, Grandpappy top boy.
It don't matter. I literally just looked. They all said warrior god, but it don't matter. It don't matter. God rats. There it is. There it is. In honor of my grandpappy, in honor of my grandpa, it's time for the fusion. We're fusing. I wish I had some like Sailor Moon music. I don't know. Maybe Chosen can do something for me. I got shorts on. Normal. It is. Hiding evil by moonlight. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I'm put a hood on to complete the transformation. It's like my docking. Yes. This is the rat docking. The chain has to be out. Rat docking. We're here. I've docked. It's my final form.
It's my final form.
Blue Adidas, white headphones, the chain, and the suit. Together, we are rat.
We are
We're a rat. We are not the rat. We are rat. That's it. That's what we are. We're just rat. R-A-T. Radioactive agenda terrorist. That's what we are.
Radioactive agenda terrorist.
Agenda terrorist. That's what I am right now. It's over.
That is hilarious.
Radioactive for the toxicity, agenda for the agenda, and terrorist because once I find an agenda, I will terrorize YouTube, the algorithm, Twitter, Instagram, any social media platform. You're gonna see me. You're gonna see me.
Yo.
Because my grandpappy top 10. I'm a royalty, lineage.
Lineage.
The only one I answer to is Emu. I don't have to answer to nobody. Not Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Biden, none of them niggas. This is Emu and the Lord because Lord knows God first. But still, taking out my Christianity and my faith, I don't answer to nobody but Emu. That's it. We high off that power. Anyway, let's continue. Humbly I request your patience and time. 5 elder planets, defense, science, warrior gods, Saint Grandpappy J. Garcia Saturn, Lulucia citizens have shown sparks of rebellion recently. Rat, environmental warrior god, Saint Marcus Mars. Yo, that name is kind of hard. Hold on. That name is kind of hard. Marcus Mars is kind of hard. I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of hard. That's a fire name. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, that's kind of crispy. Yo, Saint Marcus is crispy, son. Hold on. Environmental god. He believe in global warming. Then we may be able to make an example out of them. 5 elder planets, justice, warrior god, Saint Top Man Valkyrie. Top man. I mean, top man. I mean, top boy, top man. I mean, not as hard, but we could call him Top G or Top Boy. If y'all watch Top Boy, low key, he's Mercury, Hermes. I'm with it. Top man. He's a Brit. He's probably a chav. Probably born in the streets of London and came up. Look at his mustache. Low key, he might be. You know what? He's a chav from London that doesn't come up. I know it. Hear it in his accent. I know it. His name is Top Man. He's the top lad. That's his name. Not Top Man, but Top Lad.
Top lad.
He's a chav from London. He's Russian. I don't care. He's London. Monopoly Man. That's it. That is it, Prodigy. We're calling him Monopoly Man. That's it. Saint Monopoly. We know him. Just yes. Just yes. Corporal Prodigy, yes. Monopoly Man. So we have Gandhi, we have Grandpappy, we have Monopoly. I don't know who we're gonna talk. And then we have Sanji's dad, and I don't know who the other nigga is. If we could one day use this power freely, 5 Elder Planets Finance God, Warrior God, Saint Ethan Baron V. Nusjuro. Saint Ethan. I can see Ethan. He probably got the least. I think he got the least Rizzy name out of all of them. Saint Ethan. But I like Gandhi, so we calling him Gandhi. I don't know if I like his name. But he's Venus. Okay, so that's Venus. And then we have, oh, Jew. Okay, I see it. Saturn, Mars, Mercury. I see it. Venus. Okay. And then we should instantly snuff out any protracted conflict. 5 Elder Planets, Agriculture, Warrior God, Saint Shepherd, Jupiter. I get it. Jupiter. I get it. Shepherd. Although Baron is kind of hard in general. Okay, so we got Shep, we got Shepherd, we got Gandhi, we got Sanji's dad, we got Gandhi, we got Monopoly Man.
Join Happy Optimum customers.
Damn.
1 gig fiber internet for as low as $55 a month.
I don't know who this tall dude is gonna be. I mean, he reminds me of Mr. Harriman from Foxy's Imaginary Friends, but I'm not gonna do that. Not many of y'all really are hip to that. And then we got Grandpappy, so we're gonna keep going. One more thing, of course, retrieve Vivi as you wish. Gandalf, oh Gandalf, yes, Gandalf, yeah, I like Gandalf actually.
Gandalf.
I like that.
Gandalf the Great.
Meanwhile, between
Gandalf
the
the Grey.
disbanding of the 7 warlords, the kingdom of Taijin and the Aegis Kingdom are both rebelling. And the uprisings in government, affiliated nations, the Navy has their handful. However, deploy the Seraphim. Crocodile was spotted on Empty Buffs Island. Their military power had already gone in new directions. So we got baby Dofi, we got baby Moria, who's baby Crocodile looks like Crollo Lucifer.
Crollo Lucifer.
Yo, that baby crocodile's probably hard-bodied, bro. Croco's a girl? Nope, we're not doing that. Nope, I know what y'all doing. I'm not gonna let you angle that. We're not doing that. I'm sorry, that's not gonna happen. Not in my chat. We're not doing that. All right? We're not doing that. We are not. I'm not letting you do this. I'm not. Anyone, any mods in the chat, if somebody said Luffy is Crocodile's mom, ban them right now. Ban them. I want them gone.
I want them gone.
Will censor this. I will literally access my
Crocella. They're all dead.
I will purge the criminals that assert that Crocodile
Luffy is who?
They must be purged. Purge them.
Rat in action.
This is my chat. We're not doing this today. He said ban. Oh, somebody got banned actually. All right, let me keep going. There's chaos in my chat now.
There's chaos in my chat. Somebody actually got banned.
The second we docked at Lulucia, the people arrested King Seki and Princess Kamane. They were just waiting to ambush the royals. Since I was a stowaway, they welcomed me with open arms. That's when I saw the papers and found out that they pinned King Cobra's death on me. Unsurprisingly, the people there considered me a hero. I wanted to tell them the truth, but when I saw how the lie fanned the flames of rebellion within them, the words died in my mouth. Betty and the others had already inspired a lot of them, and I ended up bringing many of those hopeful recruits back with me. I couldn't make the direct contact without an encryption snail, so I rerouted my call through the island where we were setting sail. I knew the government would intercept the signal, but doing it like that was sure to fool them into thinking I was still in Lulucia. Okay, so that was smart, Sabo. So Sabo showing his brains. Sabo went for the agenda instead of the people.
Okay.
He chose, you know what, I'm cool with the agenda. But also, he got big brain enough to realize they're probably going to, you know, intercept something. So let me just do a little thing. Steer him away, big brain. He used the Lulucia VPN. There it is. He took the IP address. Surfshark VPN. He used it. He used Surfshark VPN. I wish I had an ad today. Surfshark, come back. I've done 2 ads. Where's my third? I want to do a third one. We could have done something here. Or NordVPN. Somebody, look at me. Help.
Help.
But let's move on. However, I was just within the range, having already set out to sea with our new enlisters. So the annihilation of Lulu.
Sorry about the background noise, if y'all can hear it.
Yeah, everyone on board was hysterical. A lot of them had family on the island. They saw their country obliterated right in front of their eyes. Despicable. How in the world did they do it? An enormous shadow seemed to engulf the sky above us. And the next moment, everything was gone. An enormous shadow? There was no way it was caused by a living thing or some natural disaster. Something pitch black was flying around above the clouds. Sabo, earlier you said they used the name Emu. Right. This may be a little out there, but when the world we know today was when the world we know today was created 800 years ago, one of the first 20 sovereigns was Saint Emu of House Narona. Is that lore piece I smell? Saint Emu of House Narona. What does this mean? Now look at this. Since we know an ability granting eternal youth is said to exist, that must mean someone has used it before, right? Which means there is a person out there that doesn't need to worry about death. So, you think the one I saw is, it could be a coincidence. Maybe they just share the same name. But, Could anyone else but a founder command the 5 elder planets, the highest of world nobles? The celestial dragons fancy themselves as the descendants of the gods after all. One more thing. Assuming the object you saw above the cloud was a weapon made by the government, then the only one capable of creating such a thing would be Vegapunk. Hold it. Eva, Vegapunk would never intentionally design a dedicated killing machine. I know. So what if it was an ancient weapon? Assuming Emu has been living since ancient times, there is a connection. Robin told us that the ancient weapons do in fact exist. But if this person had such a weapon, why wait till now to use it? Ivankov really is like theory crafting right now.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's insanity. Okay. Hold on. Present day. The Holy Land, the Mother Flame. Interesting. Okay. Present day. The Holy Land of Mary Joas. A celestial dragon has just been sentenced to death. Our food supply is gone, We have no bread. However, this information will never be reported to the outside world. All we have is cakey. The judge was the former king of a land known as God Valley.
Yup. That reaction is priceless.
He serves as the supreme commander of the God Knights. His name is Saint Figureland
Garling.
Bro, look at his hair.
Oh, shaped like a crescent.
Saint Figureland Garling. The man he sentenced to execution. The man he sentenced to execution, none other than the one who chose to defend the fisherman, Saint Don Quixote Misogard. Anyone who protects scum is lower than scum they protect. A man who can judge the celestial dragons. Oh my God, King of God Valley.
I want to know his thoughts on this.
Of the God Knights, and he's got a sword. And he got the drip too. Look at the coat. Look at the coat, Jack.
Witness
God damn.
City versus Inter.
What's his story?
Look at the color. This nigga is crispy. This nigga is... Bro, this is what I tell you. He's got drip, but it's the sauce with it. My man is sitting in his chair. Crossed legs, crossed arms, but he's still holding the sword. Oh, he got mega sauce. Hold on.
Yeah, mega sauce.
Mega sauce. And people say it's Shank's dad. Why?
That's because he's a former king.
So then this beckons. We have a new agenda. Is Mihawk stronger than this nigga?
He's got the title. I think he is.
That world's greatest swordsman title is phony.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Stronger than Gandhi? He's stronger than Vader.
That's why we came here.
World's great.
That's why we came here. World's greatest phony? That'd be nuts. That would be nuts.
Swordsman title is in the mud. Oh, it's time. We don't care about world's greatest swordsman. That don't mean nothing no more. Just like Kaido being the strongest creature in the world don't mean nothing no more. It don't mean nothing to us. It's over. Ring the bells, ring the bells. Fraud Hawk, Fraud Hawk.
Oh, come. He's crazy.
Strongest swordsman in the
He's
world.
crazy.
The sickest title we've received in the series.
Oh, that's crazy. That's nuts.
It's time. It's time.
I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Right back. Oh gosh. Alright, back. Finish off this last minute. See what else he's got to say.
I love this here. I love it here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the program where we have to end chapter reaction.
Okay, now it's over. Okay, I think that's all we're gonna do for today. yeah, I love this chapter. I loved us, you know, seeing Tekking and JD Legend reaction, and definitely gonna start streaming more, and hopefully I'll get more time to put out regular content as well. But thank you for the people who showed up. Thank you for the people who liked the stream, and thank you to all the people who will watch this stream in the future. And I hope you guys have a good daytime, night.